Dear professors, today we will talk about the gastrodiplomacy, assessing the role of food in decision-making. Next page. We will divide in 5 parts. The first one is the case overview, explore the roles of food in decision-making and social behaviors. And the rest parts are focused on the specific questions about food in negotiation stage. Next. So I'm Feng Yashen, and now I would like to share the case overview. This document, next page, this document takes a research into the relationship between food and decision-making and social behaviors, and it also emphasizes the significance of food in cognition and impression formation and the positive social interaction. Next. And I will introduce 4 examples to explain the relationship between food and decision-making and social behaviors. First is exploring the role of food in political persuasion and the function of food in decision-making. And the third is the correlation between food and thinking. And finally, we will talk about the connection between food and workplace. Next. So here are some specific examples. For first one, food as tools of political persuasion. Historically, food has often been used to convey a message, such as in religion, where individuals display specific foods to represent their religious beliefs. For instance, certain religions might display or provide particular foods to convey their beliefs and values. And second is the roles of foods in decision-making. Recent studies suggest that sharing food together fosters most positive social interaction and reduce the displays of powers. During their communal meals, pleasurable behaviors will increase and social interaction are more friendly compared to other times. So moreover, dining together enhances the positive emotion. Next. And okay, let me check. And the third one is about the food and thinking. Research indicates a link between the food and our social political viewpoints. For example, one study found that by associating some social political statements with a free lunch through the coordinated learning, this statement received higher ratings upon the second evaluation. Conversely, associating these statements with a full outdoor lead to the low ratings. And the last one is the food in workplace. Providing food in workplace boosts cooperation, creativity, and productivity. For instance, one study found that after a meal breaks in course, judges were significantly more likely to grant parole requests. Additionally, other studies revealed that offering healthy foods choice at work could enhance employee creativity and efficiency. So next. In conclusion, the foods we consume plays a vital role in our decision-making process, social interaction, and overall well-being.
And how do food and drinks influence our decision-making? Next, please. I want to explain from 4 perspectives. Negotiation over a meal is a common practice worldwide, especially in China. Next, please. First, I want to explain environment and atmosphere. Dining together creates a very relaxed environment, which can make negotiations smoother. The informal setting helps in breaking down barriers, allowing for more open and honest communication. The choice of menu, type of food, and drinks served are all considered part of the negotiation strategies, aiming to a successful deal making. Next, please. The second is building relationships. In China, relationships, which means 关系, establishing relationships is crucial in business. Sharing a meal helps in building personal relationships, trust, and understanding, which are necessary for successful negotiation. The second point is food and drinks become tools for foster relationships and showing a willingness to invest in a long-term partnership. Next, please. The second is physiological impact. Consuming food and drinks can enhance mood and overall well-being, potentially making individuals more respectful and agreeable during negotiation. Alcohol commonly consumed during business dinner can also play a role in promoting discussion, but it can also impair judgment if not consumed mindfully. Next, please. The last but not is strategy and timing. Decisions might not successfully to made at dinner table. Instead, the meal can be a strategical move to next stage, with formal decision being concluded later in a more formal setting. And the other point is the course of meal itself can be strategic, with important topics being discussed at specific times, possibly influenced by consumption of alcohol.
Hi, I'm Ewan. So I'm gonna ask the question, do we bond with those with whom we happen to share a meal or drink together? And if food and eating together can be used as a tool of negotiation, why and how? First off, let's talk about the amazing power of food in social bonding. Picture this. You're sitting with your friends, enjoying a delicious meal. You feel that warm, fuzzy feeling, right? Turns out, research shows that sharing a meal or grabbing a drink together actually helps us connect on a deeper level. It's like a friendship booster shot. Food acts as a delicious glue, bringing people together and making us more friendly and agreeable. During a meal, people often discover shared interests, whether it's hobbies, sports, or personal values. These shared interests can be used as leverage in negotiations. So, next time you want to strengthen a relationship, consider inviting someone for a meal. It's like a secret recipe for bonding. Now, let's transition into the realm of negotiation. Food isn't just about satisfying hunger. It can be a strategic tool for building trust and cooperation during negotiations. Think about those business lunches you've heard about. They're not just about the food, right? They're about creating a relaxed and friendly atmosphere where deals can be struck. When we eat together, our guards calm down and we become more open and receptive to each other's ideas. It's like saying, hey, if we can enjoy a meal together, maybe we can find common ground and work things out. Plus, the feel-good chemicals released in our brains when we are happily munching away makes us more relaxed and cooperative. It's like a delicious shortcut to collaboration. What's more, sharing food from different cultures can be an excellent way to gain insight into each other's cultures and backgrounds. This cultural understanding can be valuable in negotiations, especially in a global context.
Thank you, Ewan. I'm Infan. Now let's talk about do's and the don'ts in negotiation. The promotion of food and drinks in negotiation setting can indeed impact the outcome by creating a more comfortable and conductive environment by discussions. However, it's essential to be more mindful of what kind of food and drinks to offer. Here are some suggestions. First, there are four kinds of foods and drinks we could consider. First, non-alcohol beverage. Offering a range of non-alcohol beverage is a safe and common practice. This can include water, coffee, tea, and soft drinks. These options help keep participants hydrated and alert throughout the negotiation. Second, light snacks. Simple, non-messy snacks are a good choice as they provide sustenance without being distracting. Consider items like food patterns, nuts, or finger foods that are easy to eat while conversing. Third, cultural sensitivity. Take into account the cultural backgrounds of negotiation participants. Different cultures have specific preference for teas, snacks, or refreshments. By accommodating these preferences, you can show respect, and create a more welcoming atmosphere. Fourth, healthy options. Offering healthier food and drink choices can contribute to a positive and focused environment. Options such as herbal tea, fresh fruits, and vegetable platters can help maintain energy levels and cognitive function without causing fatigue. Next, please. And these are 6 kinds of food and drinks we should avoid. First, alcoholic beverage. It's generally best to avoid serving alcohol beverage in a negotiation setting. Alcohol can impair judgment and decision making, potentially lead to unintended consequences of misunderstanding. Second, messy or odorous food. Foods that are messy to eat or have strong odors should be avoided. This can be distracting and interrupt the flow of negotiation. For example, foods like spaghetti and garlic-heavy dishes can be challenging to handle in a professional setting. Third, common allergens and adult restrictions. Be mindful of common food allergies and dietary restrictions. It's a good practice to inquire about any dietary preference or restriction beforehand. This can help you avoid serving items that may cause discomfort or allergies among participants. Fourth, highly caffeine beverage. While coffee and tea are generally fine, the cautions with high caffeine energy drinks that might make participants over the jittery. Fifth, heavy meals. Serving large heavy meals can make participants feel sluggish and less focused. Options for lighter fare that provides sustenance without causing drowsiness. Heavy meals may also lead to extended breaks, which can disrupt the negotiations momentum. Six, high sugar foods. Foods and drinks with high sugar content may cause energy spikes and crashes, affecting participants' concentrations. Remember, the goal of providing food and drinks during negotiations is to create comfortable environments that encourages constructive discussions, not to serve elaborate meals. It's good practice to check with participants about their dietary preferences and restrictions beforehand to ensure that everyone feels comfortable and valued during the negotiation process. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Yang. Now let me and my partner Xueqi to introduce how to use FACE as a tool of negotiation. Next, please. Okay, when it comes to food diplomacy of France, the Alice place has a long history of using state dinners to show off French gastronomy and products. However, in France, food can be seen as more than just tool. French cuisine, accompanied by major sets, great French wines, has a deal opportunity to serve the nation. An occupant of Alice, whatever his political ideology, has never failed to make the kitchen, as well as a cellar, a showcase for his country's famous expertise. It is a mark of power. In all of Paris of power, the chefs in the kitchens have servers who run the countries take a seat around the same table. They make these moments an invitation to friendship, dialogue, and peace, wrote Macaron in his introduction to the book At the President's Table. Next, please. So, how does French rulers use gastronomy to positively influence negotiation, or can we learn from this? 3 points are obvious: show soft power, satisfy national food preferences, and promote cooperation. Next, please. So in order to provide a runner for politicians to expand the influence and discuss cooperation, Good Friends events were born. Various social and political movements and the work of great chefs came together to create techniques and style that are unique to French cooking. Throughout the centuries, French cuisine has been codified by various master chefs who has been held in high regard of his contributions to the French culture. For example, the worldwide fifth edition of Good Friends Festival is focused on sustainable development, the responsible gastronomy, and the commitment of the chefs to preserve the planet. Next, please. Okay. And also, state barbecues with international leaders also had the great role to satisfy national food preferences for French partners. These barbecues often feature a carefully curated menu showcase of the finest French culinary traditions. So these elaborate meals, the place aims to create warm and convivial atmosphere for diplomatic discussion. For example, Queen Isabella was apparently fond of a type of liver pie foie gras, but for her son's visits, foie gras was absent from table. King Charles III has banned it from his household because the controversial pie is made of both fading darks or greasy. Instead, King Charles and the other guests were treated to a menu of blue bluster and a crab cake and original poultry dish. Next, please. And also we mentioned to diplomatic lunches and dinners. These intimate gathering provide opportunities for informal discussions and relations, shape building over exceptional meals. Next, please. Now let's my partner Xueqi to introduce what should we do.
Okay, so based on the former materials and cases provided, here are some key points on what politicians should avoid when it comes to their gastronomic choices. The first one, failure to connect with the majority. Politicians should be aware that their food choices can convey a powerful political message. Choosing foods that do not resonate with the majority of voters that can make them seem disconnected from their constituents. And the second one is the inappropriate contrast. They should refrain from making inappropriate food and beverage choices in specific contexts. For instance, ordering high-end drinks in a working-class bar or tavern can create a stark contrast that may alienate potential voters. And the third one is misalignment with values. Politicians should be mindful of how their food choices align with their political messages and values. Contradictory choices can lead to a public skepticism and criticism. And the final one is the intensive choices. During times of public crisis or healthy concerns, politicians should avoid making food choices that appear insensitive or out of touch with the current issues. For example, consuming foods associated with a crisis, such as feeding a child a beef burger during a mad cow outbreak, can lead to public ridicule. And next page, please. So, in summary, Politicians should make gastronomic choices that align with their values, are sensitive to public sentiments, and help them connect with the broader population. They should avoid elitism and inauthenticity and inappropriate choices that could undermine their public imaging and political credibility. And that's all. And thank you for our listening.